On abbey shores where shadows play, the alley whispers night and day. In abomination, alley's grip, where fear and danger tightly knit. Oh, the alley breathes a tale untold of secrets dark and hearts grown cold. Abbey streets, they'll pull you in to the depths where sin begins.
Hello, and welcome to Dire Bear. It's Tuesday night, so that means we're playing Abomination Alley, our BRP actual play. I'll be your storyteller for the evening, Jason, and with me as usual will be Cara playing Teak, Sarah playing Vivian, Eric playing Michael, Jeremy playing Salvador, Duba playing George, and Rappy playing Charlie. Who remembers where we left off last week?
There was a lot of figuring out what we did during the week.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
mostly just downtime stuff.
Predominantly. And introducing George and Charlie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe we went and visited Auntie.
Yes, in fact, we wrapped up with George and Charlie at Auntie Jen's and everybody else en route.
He pulling up with everybody he had to pick up in the Model T.
Do you think you were driving about everybody?
I think the only one that he wasn't driving was Michael.
Yeah, Michael was walking.
Yeah, V is gonna probably walk as well because
You people getting your
Vehicles.
steps in.
It's just Salvador and Teakland.
Well, Freddie. Well,
Oh,
not Freddie. Yeah, not Freddie. Is it Freddie?
Leo.
it's not
Leo.
Freddie, Leo.
Sorry, that was last game.
just picking up people from across the universe.
What's that giant thing you're walking around in?
No, that'll be the last season that we the last game we play of anything will be something
Just the crossover episode.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be the
That
one
would
time we
be
play D&D and
terrifying.
we'll spell jam to all the other worlds we've played through.
The trick is we play D&D, but we have character sheets for all the other different systems.
God. Good luck keeping up with that.
Well, you could convert this one to a D20 basis and pretty easily. You just divide all your scores by 5.
Huh. I didn't think about that like that.
That's how you figure out how to roll your stats in this is you multiply it by 5.
I see.
In fact, Pendragon, the Arthurian game Chaosium does, it's basically the BRP system, but they've done that conversion to use a D20 with it. It just means everything goes up by increments of 5% instead of the individual percentage.
Yeah.
Anyway, first hand. All right, so we're starting off. Everybody that drove to Auntie Jen's is there. The walkers will get there shortly thereafter.
Just a
Auntie Jen's housekeeper opens the door. Oh yes, Mr.
Howdy.
Salvador, please come in. You as well, Mr. Teak.
Hi.
Salvador enters. He just,
And Leo would be
dusts
there.
himself off.
She'd invite Leo in. Are the others coming?
One of them has a hang up about driving. or being in a vehicle, so they'll be a little bit. But presumably, yes.
I went by Michael's office, but he wasn't there. So
Oh, I spoke to him. He'll be here in a little bit.
okay.
Oh, very good then. Please come this way. And she leads you into a probably the dining room. Auntie Jen has probably moved everybody into the dining room by now, just for more room.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk in, and you see the elf lady and the dwarf fella that went out with you when you found Mickey's body. You didn't catch their names at the time, but they were the two that stayed behind and watched the body until the police got there. Well, y'all took Auntie Jen back inside, out of the cold.
Oh. Huh. Interesting.
Auntie
Just
Jen's
looking at, yeah.
As you walk in Salvador, Auntie Jen is like, I know you've met, but just as a refresher, George, this is Salvador. Salvador, this is George.
Yeah, we've met. We sure have met. He shakes his hand.
Yeah, George will promptly set down his coffee that he's probably gotten by now and shake Salvador's hands. Greetings to you. I do remember the face.
And this is Teak.
Hello.
Why, look at you, laddie. He reaches out his hand to shake Teek's.
He'll shake it.
And then behind Teak is an orc. Auntie Jen introduces as Leo.
Who he would also recognize from.
Yes. Yeah, George, you're recognizing everybody. Like I said, y'all may not have gotten each other's names that first night. Things were a little hectic.
George will be kind of fascinated at Teak for a moment. It's like, I remember a few of you back in the war. Great little fighting friends I had.
There were a lot of kobolds digging trenches.
Oh, he knows. That's just the funny thing is he's like looking at Teak and reminiscing, thinking back to that time.
In the trenches.
And then she turns and and this is Charlie.
Hello.
Hello.
Charlie. Like nods his head.
And I believe, I think we said Charlie wasn't much older than Salvador.
Probably not much, no.
No. We have 3 very young elves in this group.
That's true, because Salvador was looked at as too young to go off to the war. But that's been a couple of years back now. Never mind however many years he was in the actual war.
I think whoever of Salvador's family was actually in America when they were drafting was like, he's much too young to go to war. Man, he's like 30. He's a baby.
just this young elf boy going to war. Other soldiers look at him like, son, what are you doing here? I'm 30 years old. Fuck you. But anyway.
Well, it's not that Salvador didn't look grown to a human.
Yeah. No, Salvador would have been like 21, something like that. Like very early 20s.
But she feels greatly relieved that your little group is complete now.
This feels complete.
Well, she doesn't know where Michael or Vivian are, but but they've drawn the stones. They know they're part of it.
No, they'll be here in a little bit.
Oh, excellent.
I more meant that this is what happens. Just a bunch of people show up, and then what?
Well, then you help the city. You defend the folks of the city.
I was doing that anyway.
Well, yes, once you drew the stones.
I was doing that. Well, I guess I haven't been here that long, but
Oh, that was your
Fair.
intention. Yeah, Andy Jen's like, I understand what you're saying now. And it's good that you would do that. It's probably why the stones chose you. But she wanted to make sure that you got together, knew each other, and you could sort out some kind of way to stay in touch. She's had She's been reading the runes and had disturbing. She's been getting disturbing impressions from them. She doesn't know what's coming, though certainly creatures of chaos showing up.
not a good look.
No. You've always had rumors of that sort of thing happening. Much like you'll have, much like in the real world, you'd have rumors of, whatever supernatural something, haunted houses, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Strange folk. Some strange folk will fixate on chaos finding them. Like some people will fixate on the end of the world sort of stuff. Only this time, there's actually evidence of it. There are bodies in custody of these creatures. It's not just, I saw it off at a distance, or I took a blurry picture of it.
Trying to scare a small child.
Right. There's no real doubting it this time. This time there's proof. Whether it's the first real appearance of them or not, she couldn't say, but oh, she realizes she's being a terrible host. Can I get you something to drink or something to eat?
Tea, the old way.
Just water, please.
And then she turns to the housekeeper. The housekeeper scurries off to fill the orders. I think she already had some tea going, so.
Mm-hmm. Just tea the old way.
Well, this is how they made it tea when I was a child during the Revolutionary War. I don't know if you consider that the old way, but. So y'all are sitting around, slightly awkwardly sipping your tea. Michael and Vivian, is there anything y'all wanted to talk about before y'all got to there?
No.
Okay. Then y'all, then later on y'all arrived. Y'all walked many blocks.
He just knocks on the door.
The housekeeper
Sal-
opens the door.
Oh, I thought if the housekeeper was getting tea or something, then
Oh,
Salvador
y'all been sitting there sipping y'all's tea for a while by the time I get here.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Housekeeper answered, Mr. Anderson, Miss Vivian, please come in. Everyone else is already in the dining room. She'll shut the door. March y'all into the dining room.
Follows along into the dining room.
You see all the guys. You recognize the dwarf and the elf that were also there New Year's Eve. Auntie Jen introduces them. The dwarf is George Stone. The elf is Charlie O'Brien. Charlie and George, you're told this is Michael Anderson and Vivian.
Just shakes both their hands.
Yeah. Vivian's an elf, Michael's a human.
Pleasure.
Greetings to you. Pleasure to meet you.
Hello. Good to see you guys again.
I should have put
Both
some
of
money on that. It was you all that were the rest of the runes.
Well, hopefully this meeting doesn't involve any more dead bodies.
Unfortunately. Get them some tea, please.
Coffee.
Of course.
George holds up his cup towards Michael. I like you already.
Drink it black.
And then Auntie Jen slides a newspaper over to you, Michael. About bodies.
Takes it.
She's got it open to an article. And this is like the afternoon edition of the paper. So it looks like this may have happened just early enough they were able to go to press with a little blurb about it.
Mhm.
But apparently there's been a shootout between some orcs and some dwarves.
Why am I not surprised?
The paper speculates they may be part of organized crime.
He just slightly sips his water.
That's it.
And you have us here. Why?
I wanted to make sure that you had all met, that you, I don't know, exchanged numbers, addresses, however y'all plan on keeping in touch. Now that the Beorn are complete. I know this must be strange for you, this being a strange folk tradition. But with chaos rearing its head, the people of this city are going to need protection. And human police forces have never been great at looking after the strange folk, nor dealing with the sort of issues that can crop up in a strange folk population.
Have you tried instructing them then?
Yes, we have strange folk that go into the police, and they tend to get passed over for promotions quite often.
So your play is what exactly?
We're using the old ways. The runes picked a group to be defenders.
Remind me, how well did that work for you last time?
Mickey and his group defended the city for quite some time. How many police officers in that same period of time died in the line of duty? Do you take that tone with the police chief?
When
Honestly,
I need
he
to.
probably does.
So what I'm understanding here is you want to effectively cut humanity out of protecting our world.
What are you talking about? You're human. You're involved.
Yeah. What about the rest of us?
When we can convince humanity to pay attention to us, we'll be happy to instruct them.
So until then, you're not going to bother?
We're trying on a rather constant basis. But you'll see, if strange folks show up trying to help with magic, we're still as likely as not to get lynched. That's not as big a problem in the larger cities, though it's still been known to happen. Would you like to know how many I've seen in my lifetime?
What is it that you propose we do to try and ease the tensions between the dwarves and orcs? Their rivalry is kind of a known tradition.
It is. It very rarely comes to openly shooting at each other in the streets, though.
Someone got trigger happy.
And possibly that's all it is. I didn't call you here specifically for this. The paper arrived after George and Charlie were already here. This is just the sort of thing Beorn would look into. Being a tradition, and with you have already having gotten some acknowledgement for killing the brew, you could potentially approach both sides as a neutral party and at least find out what has happened.
Did Teak hear anything over the week that he was training with his orc friend in the mob? Like rumors or anything, just off the cuff?
No, not really.
Yep.
This seems to have been an all of a sudden something.
Yep.
But she'll be happy to give you any help she can, but ultimately it is up to you as to how you go about defending the city. As the previous Beorn dwindled, Mickey went about it essentially taking cases pro bono and looking into any suspicious activities he became aware of. That, of course, became more and more dangerous as more of his group, aged out and retired or passed away.
Basically, at this point, Michael's just sipping at the coffee, reading the paper. Pointedly, the paper is up, so he's basically cut himself off from everybody else.
Well, as luck would have it, we have a representative from both sides of the species of them. We have nods at George.
Leo?
No, George and Leo.
Yeah.
I
always forget that y'all can't see their names like I can.
I have the thing up. I just didn't have it in the open window. Not that orcs won't talk to elves or dwarves won't talk to elves, but they're a bit more apt to not.
Auntie Jenny just kind of nodding. The old conflicts are not remembered quite as hard here in America as they would be in Europe, but it still exists, especially with the older of us.
Looks over at George. You wouldn't happen to, not to pry, but you wouldn't happen to know anyone. The paper did say was it between the Brewers Guild?
That is what their unnamed source in the police department has said they think it may be. That it may be the Dwarven Brewers Guild and the Orc Mob.
You wouldn't happen to know anyone in the Dwarven Brewers Guild? A friend, relative, delivery boy?
George slowly sips on the coffee. Kind of leans back, strokes his beard a little bit. I'm sure I happen to know a soul or two that would be associated with them. What would you like to know? Of course, I'm going to take a wild stab as he lifts the paper that Auntie Jen gave to him earlier. It's like, I'll take a stab and guess you want me to root around and figure out what potentially could have started this little spat, huh?
As good a place as any to start.
I'm sure I might be able to throw a question or two around, hopefully.
Probably better received than one of us marching in there all aplomb and trying to ask questions.
Oh, that shouldn't be too tall an order to do for you, lass. Anything else you might potentially want me to root around for?
Feel free to take the approach of a swine looking for truffles. Root around all you like.
Did that elf just call you a pig?
A small Cheshire grin will slowly creep across his face as he takes one more sip of the coffee. Hey, I do believe I can take that order for you.
He kind of is squeamish about it, but is like, I have a few contacts I can talk to.
If you feel comfortable reaching out to them,
Oh,
by
yeah,
all
I
means.
have no problem with them.
The paper just lowers slightly.
I don't know what assistance I can offer. My contacts aren't as good as they used to be.
I don't know anybody here except for you guys.
I need to find a place to take you.
Why?
No more people.
Maybe when we're not stopping all-out gang war.
Oh, come on. A little socializing, a little whining and dining, a little trying to end bitter rivalries that have gone on for generations.
It's that part, really.
Hey, granted, we're not going to stop it anytime soon. Probably put the lid back on it for probably a time before it boils over again. Honestly, some things just never die. But then again, we know how to hold a grudge.
Being long-lived will do that to you.
I don't know. I found it's too much energy to hold a grudge.
I think so too.
Unfortunately for some of my kind, I hate to admit it, but to them it's a pastime.
Some people foster children, others foster grudges.
Uh, these days I just foster a farm and have a few livestock.
All right.
I've done good to put me grudges behind.
Good on you.
Well, the paper snaps shut and is folded. Either way, I'm going to be useless on both endeavors. So, if that's all, I have work to get to.
Not completely useless. You have access to criminal records, things as such.
You're quite a good talker, believe it or not.
And both of those factions have a strong reason to dislike me.
Buy their booze.
No.
Not exactly a good idea for someone who works within the realm of law.
George, you're quite certain a lot of people that work within the realms of the law buy booze from probably both groups.
Continue on. Just because some of the city is corrupt doesn't mean all of it has to be corrupt.
That seems to be a problem with most people these days. You'll stand up and finish the coffee. See, because a lot of people may think that lawyers can just do anything or is willing to do anything, but that's not something I'm going to accept. And he looks right at Genevieve and says, "Is you can't go skirting the rules to justify it because you believe someone else broke them."
Keeps her very calmly, sips your coffee.
And he just turns and leaves.
It must be nice to live in a world where you think the system works. Where you think it works for everyone.
Demanding everyone change their stripes, having known each other for maybe a month on and off, doesn't seem fair.
That doesn't mean he has to
At the
cop
s-
such an attitude.
At the same
I
time,
respect staying
looking
out your
down at
beliefs,
us,
but
and at the same time looking at us from an ivory tower.
He has some sharp edges, but he at least has conviction.
I'll give him that.
I'm sure he's better than the one you wound up with anyway.
Ha! That sounds like a story I
Damn.
need to hear later.
Where's the coal? Are you just going to drag her across it?
Vivian
sounds like
just
a
kind
story
of.
Said that
Hear
was
later.
Auntie Jen said that with some sympathy.
Yeah, the sympathy of the old lady that's like, you should have gone to college. You should have married that nice lawyer man.
She probably does have some education, as much as a woman in the 20s can have.
Mm-hmm.
Also, classically trained musician.
Should have married that nice doctor man.
Not all of us have the luxury of choice. Some of us have things expected of us, including people that come from families where things are expected from you, and then. Never mind.
No, continue.
Auntie Jen just sort of pats you on
you're
the
preaching
shoulder.
to the choir. Why do you
Rich
think I'm in
families aren't the
America?
only ones that expect things from people. I'm sure it spans both good and bad.
I got here to get away from mine, so you're preaching to the choir.
Let's hope we. Well, if we meet mine, I doubt they have much to say to me, anyways. Well, is it? What time of the day is it?
I'm trying to remember.
I know
I think it was
it had been in the evening.
Was it the evening?
Yeah, because for the meeting to take place with everyone, it was the afternoon, evening.
That's fair. That's fair. I will say it's about 3 in the afternoon.
Is it too late to go looking over at Teak and George making calls, or would you like to wait till tomorrow, or?
Probably better if I visit them.
Alone?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Are
Okay.
you sure? These are dangerous people.
Yeah.
Kind of gives
I mean-
Salvador a look. You remember him back at the meatpacking plant? I think he can handle himself.
I'm just going to speak for Patrick since he's not here. But I imagine Leo would also volunteer to go with you, since he wouldn't trigger any wouldn't. They don't know him, but he wouldn't trigger any particular negative responses.
Fine. Teak would. I mean, if he wants to go, Teak's not going to say no, but Teak knows them.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why Teak is skirting the line.
If
You're
you're comfortable, I trust you.
Yeah,
Leo won't.
I'm
push me.
fine.
all right.
But
Salvador will push it, but not in a way, not vocally.
I won't say no if anyone wants to go with me. I mean,
Salvador's just gonna hide in the trunk.
Yep.
Oh my lord.
No,
hits a bump. It's like Teak hits a bump. You
out
see him
the
go
cuts.
up and then back down.
I
It just
got this.
appears, appears in the rearview mirror and then comes back down. What?
Reminds me
I'll
of
go-
past
I'll-
stories I've heard before.
Well, here, I'll go with you, and you can go in and do all the talking yourself. I just want to, make sure we're not harassed.
You're fine, Mike. I mean, yeah. If that's what you want to do.
Yes, everyone here has to leave and come back safe.
All right, so Tika and Salvador are going to load up to go talk to
Mhm.
the orcs.
Mhm.
George, are you going to take anybody with you to talk to the Brewers Guild?
I mean, he feels confident he should be fine.
As a member, are you sure?
I mean, he ain't gonna admit that at all. He's gonna continue to play the card of like, yeah, I got some family there. I can ask.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
should we
George
see-
would George would just say that he'd go on his own and check in with his contact at the Brewers Guild.
and then we could meet up in the morning, perhaps?
Hey, shouldn't be a problem.
Is there like somewhere central aside from my Auntie Jen's house that could be used as a meetup place?
I feel like Auntie Jen wants us to meet here.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm saying.
She wanted you to exchange information so y'all keep in contact with each other.
We don't have phones.
Okay,
Somebody in your
addresses and
apartment
stuff.
building probably does, though. Miss.
That's fair. The landlady.
Landlady.
Does, probably.
Yeah. Miss
Teak would
Penrose.
probably just go to the mechanic shop.
Charlie works at a
well,
hospital, so
Salvador will give the number to the landlady. I mean, if you need me, he writes it down. Contact me here. Closest you're getting to a phone number from me.
Maybe if you give the number to the apartment building, considering the area probably has some kind of concierge service of some kind.
Or more likely. Or at least like a message service.
Yeah.
Because those are also things that you can sign up for. Where, you don't necessarily have a number, but they can call the message service and leave you a message, and then you can call the message service and check your messages periodically. I think those existed at
Very
at least the
complicated
70s.
voicemail.
Kind of. But they existed at least into the 70s.
But is there like a central, neutral kind of restaurant or something?
Let's see. Y'all could find a restaurant for sure.
Is there a Waffle House?
No, I believe I checked. The Waffle Houses are not around yet.
Yeah, no, they're not around yet. I think they started in. They wouldn't even be this far
Houses
north.
Waffle Houses came into being after World War II, anyway.
Okay.
Like
lot of
shortly
things
after
came into
World
being.
War II, actually.
Yeah, but they're all in the south. They're not going to be this clear north.
Toddle House, however, is a
No.
thing, which is the
is a
previous.
pale-
It's a pale comparison, but is the original Waffle House.
I've never heard of it until like a couple years ago when
The
they put one up
precursor
in this
to
town.
Okay, so
I think they opened in the 60s, though, didn't they?
precursor to Toddle House was started in the late 1920s by J.C. Stedman, a lumberman from Houston, Texas.
See, I'm seeing a Huddle House started in April '64 in Decatur, Georgia.
Toddle, Toddle,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Toddle, yes. I'm double checking my thing, but I think So Waffle House was 1947. Toddle House was 1920s.
Anyway, y'all could find a restaurant, a library, as long as you only wanted to meet during library hours.
And keep quiet.
Mm-hmm. There's always the option of
Restaurant
renting
might
a
be
space
better.
if you wanted to rent an office. I mean, you know of one office that's definitely open for rent now. The door's a little messed up.
I mean, we could see about doing that maybe after this mission.
And excuse me, I was wrong. They put 1920s, but it actually opened 1932. So my fault.
They're not quite open.
They're close. They're getting there.
We could get it on the ground floor.
But yeah, I mean, you could find some spot. You know,
We can
Teak
meet up
and
at the
Vivian
diner.
Definitely know the town well enough.
Can meet up at the diner where the same building as Mickey's office. It has enough combination of human and strange folk that it's fairly nondescript.
I had forgotten about the diner I put down there.
Haha!
I did not.
Now you must think of a diner name.
Indeed.
And like, who owns it? Because we're gonna give them hell. We're gonna get horribly attached to this mom and pop diner couple, or just putting their kids through college. They have pictures of them on the back over the grill.
First member of their family to go to college.
Yeah, and the building's gonna get bombed.
And then a paradox event comes in and lands. No.
Jesus Christ.
The kid's name is Charlie.
Oh my lord.
It's a very strange sculpture you got sitting on top of the building.
Oh god.
Charlie meet Charlie.
All right, so y'all are going to meet up at that diner. All right, that sounds fine.
Yep. I was gonna say Salvador would ask Teak if he could swing by his place before he goes to speak with the people he's gonna speak with.
Sure.
Goes to get his rifle, hides it in the back.
Of course.
Vivian will make sure to catch up to Michael and let him know what's going on.
Okay. Brunch at Violet's Diner.
Violet's Diner, I like it.
That have little violet flowers painted on the sign.
I'm sure they would.
Fantastic.
If I may, though. Meanwhile, Michael is actually heading to the police department.
Oh god.
Which one locally? I mean, which one? The local one or?
Local one, yeah.
Okay.
And
Local one being the one we got the two guys we got horribly maimed.
Yep, that'd be the one.
Fantastic.
They'll be delighted to see Mr. Anderson, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So George is driving off to go talk to the Brewers Guild. Teak and Salvador are going by to get Salvador's gun, and then heading to some mobsters Teak knows. Vivian is catching up with Michael. Which you'd be out the door quick enough, you could probably catch up with him while he's walking to the, he'd probably still be inside.
If I was a Byronic lawyer, where would I go?
We'll say Leo's just going home. What is Charlie doing?
Depending on the time.
It's 3 in the afternoon.
This was her off day, right?
I don't remember, but we can say it was.
Just saying, like,
now.
if it,
Yeah. I think it was.
if
We said
it
you had
wasn't-
been busy up to this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was
Probably
Friday,
had-
you off.
probably to go run errands, whatever she needed to get done.
Okay. Run to the laundromat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many apartments had individual washing machines back then. So let's start with Vivian catching up with Michael.
Kind of power walking aggressively in heels
Mm-hmm.
up beside him. Okay, where are we going?
Well, figure I go to the one place that I might actually be welcomed at least somewhat.
You are
The
not
police
unwelcome.
aren't. They do a damn good job of making me feel like I'm not.
And you take your job at taking offense sometimes very seriously. I'm not saying there isn't sometimes a bit of friction between everyone, but you are a bit sandpapery. Sometimes that puts a shine on people, but
It's like people forget that we're not all powerful heroes.
I don't think anyone's forgetting. I just.
Several people have.
Several people are also more prone to bending the law, reading a different interpretation of it.
Much to my chagrin.
Going and talking to people like Teak is doing and George is doing isn't anything against the law.
No, it's not. But in the week or two that this whole thing has come about, I have either been party to unwillingly or been directly asked to violate both my code of ethics and the laws on 4 separate occasions.
Only 4, man, we're going to have to see about increasing those numbers.
Vivian,
I'm not discounting it. Everyone has their code, but perhaps offer alternatives of what you could do, working within your code and ethics.
is why we're walking to the police department.
Okay, elaborate at what we're going to be doing at the police department. You're going to be doing talking. I'm going to be doing probably a little more than being a pretty face.
You're a lot more than a pretty face, and you know it.
I'll play them a violin while I'm there.
Did you bring one with you?
Yes, yes. And she's like holding like up the code, like, no, I don't.
Ah. No, but I could use another set of eyes. I'm gonna have to see if I can request access to criminal records or things that might be able to shine some light on, maybe what might have escalated this, what might have brought it into account. Are there any trends that might have shown light on things happening behind the scenes that people just didn't connect the dots to?
Maybe see if we can get the information of the person that spoke to them, if they didn't speak on the condition of anonymity.
Also that. Where
Or
did
if
the sorry for Jason real quick.
Mhm.
Where did the paper say that which station it might have gotten that contact of the police from?
All the article said was they had a contact within the police who talked to them, uh, anonymously.
anonymously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it stands to reason
Mhm.
they would be the I believe it was the Windburn
So the one we're
precinct is
heading
the
to
one that
anyway.
is the one that covers the area that it's happening. So it stands
Yeah,
to reason it'd be somebody
that
from
makes
there.
sense.
Could always also go to the location where it happened and maybe speak to people there if we get time. Maybe tomorrow
That,
after it's calmed down a little bit. Oh,
that might,
Violet's Diner tomorrow for meeting up. That way we're all not meeting up in the middle of the night.
that's the place nearby Mickey's old office, isn't it?
Yes.
Huh. I was planning on renting that place out anyway.
Coincidences abound. Lead on.
Well, we need some place to meet up other than at her house.
Or your office, or Teak's Mechanics. Something centralized.
Some
we can
place where it's
eventually-
just us. And I
Maybe-
don't want a lot of people traipsing around in my office, especially while I need to work.
We can get a discount at the diner that's at the bottom floor.
I do like food.
Walk, 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 walk.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's jump to George.
Yes, sir.
I'm a beer beat.
So I'm
Hello?
guessing that you're
Yes?
going to be driving back to talk to Mason Wolf again.
Yeah, probably. Since that is his like primary person he talks to all the time.
Not that he's the only person you know in the guild or anything, but yeah. So yeah, you go back to that little like pawn shop, repair shop place. You know, it's the front. You walk in, you know, the little bell rings on the door. You see the dwarf behind the counter. You know, the same guy that was there this morning. As soon as he hears the ding, you see his hand slide up under the counter. But then he sees who it is. Oh, George, you're back again.
Figured I'd swing by. I think I forgot something.
Yeah, okay. You've heard what happened?
Yeah. Really want to come check on the folks, see how things are going. You wouldn't happen to have a inkling, would you? Or is there somewhere we could talk about that?
I know. And he glances around like he doesn't already know the place that that the store is empty at the moment, but he's kind of like double checking. I don't know. They found a couple of the boys pretty bad, tore up, dead. And then a few streets over, some of the guys got roughed up by some orcs.
Shite.
I don't. That's really all I know. Wolf might know more. I know he's been talking to people, calling people, and people have been running in and out of here all day.
Fair enough. I won't try and take up too much of his time. I just want to know what's going on and see if there might be something that can be done about it, or at least get an idea of why.
Well,
Sorry.
go on in.
Just
If he's got time, I'm sure he'll talk to you.
I appreciate you.
But do be careful while you're running around here in town.
I doubt I'll be in town much longer. Got to go get a few things set up for the next round, you know.
Yeah, of course. And you're not in town all that often, so they probably wouldn't recognize you on sight anyway. But still, be careful.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I'll try not to take up too much time.
Okay. And you know where the entrance is in the back of the store, so you go on back. You go through, same way before, down in the basement, the secret little tunnel in the next building over. Where you had people working and moving around and doing stuff when you were there this morning, there's a flurry of activity now. Some people just openly have guns on their desks at this point.
Ooh, excuse me.
Less that, I need this right here, and more like they've been taking the guns out and making sure everything's in working order. You see one guy's actually like cleaning his pistol.
a look of worry is probably slowly starting to build up on George's face. Like, shit, we don't really need this right now.
It's been a few years. It's been a good 3 or 4 years since there was a big dust up. You'll always have somebody gets roughed up in an alley, or somebody's shipment gets busted up or stolen. It's not that there's been complete peace the last few years, but it hadn't been real bad. So you approach Wolf's office. You hear him talking on the phone. From the tone of his voice, he's probably speaking to somebody higher up than him. He doesn't say yes, sir, to a lot of other people.
Oh, I believe it.
But and then you hear him hang up.
At that point, George will just kind of like do a good firm knock.
What is it? Come in. Oh,
Hey.
George. Please tell me you haven't
Right.
brought me any more of that crap. What was it? What was it that you made for him? Was it an ale?
No, it was a shot at mead, but anyway, that's not why I'm here. I was just a bit concerned, and he'll like pull out of his shirt or like jacket, and, like pull out the paper. It's like, what happened? What happened,
Oh.
Mason?
Oh, you just heard.
I mean, granted, I know there ain't been peace with everyone, but
Yeah.
this happening, this ain't good at all, especially for business.
Yeah, this is bad. This will be bad for everybody's business. I don't know what would have set him off. Like you said, I mean, occasionally some of the boys will, the lower rankers, their lower rankers, they may get into a brawl or something.
Oh, aye, some of the new recruits wanting to see if they can rise up the rank by roughing up
Mhm.
the other. Same old, same old, same old.
Yep. Or a little over enthusiastic, so they go bust up a shipment or find out where they're storing their stuff. That's typical business though. But some of the boys found Tom, Charles, and Tilly, or what was left of them, in an alleyway.
Wait, do you mean by left of them?
Well, most of
Surely you
Tilly's
don't
head was
mean.
gone. Uh, uh, Best guess one of the boys had was it looked like a shotgun at close range. But the other two looked cut up, kind of hacked up.
Oof.
Uh,
I know a shotgun can do some damage. I've had my fair share of use of it. But, oof, I hate that for them all. Remind me, I'll try to send flowers to their family.
oh,
But still, this is
it'll be closed casket
bloody
for all of them.
ridiculous.
Yeah, and
Right.
we sent some folks out to try to figure out what's going on. Uh, uh, Sammy and Carl, they were going around. They were asking around, and they got jumped by some orcs. Now they're okay. They're just beat up.
Oh, good, good. We don't need any more dead from this.
But they said the orcs were mad about something, but they both got concussions, so they don't remember exactly what was said.
At this point, like George is scratching his beard, like kind of looking up, like, what in the sort of hell to be upset about unless we just ruined the best shipment they had of all time? I can understand that. Or
I haven't heard where anybody's been up to anything like that.
right. So
I mean,
basically,
It's orcs. Maybe they simply got bored.
that could be like
Got
that.
tired of killing each other. Decided to come after us.
When the bloodlust takes over every now and then, they just can't help it, I'm sure. But still, that's no
Exactly.
excuse.
Shouldn't be allowed in cities at all.
I remember they tried to treat all strange folk evenly, equally, even though some of us don't believe the same.
Yeah.
But regardless, so okay. I guess I'll do my best to lay low until I've got till I got a proper shipment of ale for you. But all right.
Yeah. You should be safe out on your farm. I don't imagine the orcs would venture out that far.
Probably not. Plus, I'm not in town too often, so they won't recognize me off the spot.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But we're doubling guards on our shipments.
Hi, that's a good call. So
Of course, we may have to lay low for a little bit if this escalates. That's gonna bring the police down on us. Might even get some G-men in here if it gets too bad.
Right. Yeah, we don't need that. That really hurt business, and with the current shite that they're trying to pull with this prohibition crap, it's not really helping us much at all.
Oh, we're making plenty of money off of it. But...
Oh, I know. We're charging them a piss and arm and a leg. What you talking about, lad?
So, at that point, he gets down some whiskey and pours up. He pours himself up a glass and then kind of, gestures to another glass like he's asking you if you want some.
If you don't mind, I'd be honored to have a glass with you.
But he's like, but the bosses are on me to figure this out. Why? It's my job to figure this out. I'm really just an accountant. I just figure out shipments.
Aye, but you've shown that you're someone capable and basically got more smarts than most folk, so they're gonna poke at you first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at him. He does good work. Here, have some more work. Not the reward I would want.
I don't think it's what any of us want, lad.
Too real.
Buddy, either way.
Alright, so he'll sit there and he'll chit chat with you a little bit more. If there's any other specific questions you've got to ask him, feel free. But
I mean, unless anyone in the pigeon gallery here wants to throw in a bone of particular questions, he won't have much. He'll mainly if he asks anything, it seems clear that not even Mason knows what's going on in terms of what procced it, other than orcs got pissed, boys got jumped.
mm-hmm.
So at this point, he's just kind of collecting the fact of which, okay, some other dwarves got jumped by orcs, don't know why, and now everyone's doubling up security in case of more bullcrap happening. Oh, wait. I think I got one more question for him.
Okay.
Right. So, was there any big shipments or something that was supposed to be going out here soon? Or are we still on schedule as normal?
No, schedule's pretty normal. I mean, there's there's always a lull right after New Year's. We did real well this New Year's. So no big shipments because like I said, we're in a lull. We're kind of building up our supply, but nothing big. It's all our little local suppliers.
He'll like take the glass of whiskey and like just kind of roll it around, let it slosh a little bit, and sip on it. And hell, I hate to hear that this is happening. Uh, we don't need a gang war to start.
No. But the guilds have survived them before. We'll survive this one. Most of us, anyway.
Aye. He'll finish the glass and be like, "Alright, Mason, I didn't mean to take up a lot of your time. I just wanted to check in on things and see what's going on because, again, I had just taken a moment to relax and had caught the paper. And once I read that article, I was like, right, this ain't good at all.
No.
Figured I'd come check in with you.
It caught us by surprise. Well, thanks for coming by, George. Like I said, just keep your head down.
Don't worry, it's what I do best. He takes the paper and like tucks it back in his jacket. But you be careful, Mason. I'd hate to lose you.
Ah, well. Chances of them showing up here is pretty slim. And, he gestures out to all the guys, people running. And, we brought in some extra fellas to act as security.
He looks back, he's like, I noticed. I hope you don't need all of them, but it never hurts to have a little extra protection.
And about that time, his phone rings. He's like, oh.
He kind of gestures like, like putting his hand up. I'll leave you to it.
Shut the door behind you, please. He goes over and answers the phone. Mason. All right. Now let's cut over to Teak and Salvador.
Ooh la la.
So Teak would go to the person who instructed him with driving first.
Okay. Did we ever give that fellow a name?
Yes, but my brain is not working. I cannot remember what his name was.
Was it Mullen?
Yes, it was Mullen.
No
Mullen
first name,
sounds
no
correct.
last name, just Mullen.
Just Mullen. But like knowing how they operate, he's going to park like 2 blocks down in a parking area instead of like anywhere near where they are, and walk the rest of the way.
Okay. Is Salvador staying with the Model Teak, or
Up
is
to
he
Sal.
going with Teak?
It's up to Sam.
He'll stay in the Model Teak.
Okay. Teak
All
will
right. So Teak walks
Go
down a
along.
couple blocks.
and I assume he's where he always is, probably.
Well, the two most likely places to find him is the garage, or there's a bar around the corner from the garage.
Yep. He'll check the garage first.
You stick your head in. You see a couple of other guys that work the garage. They reckon, oh, hey, Teak.
Hey, have you seen Mullen
Oh,
anywhere?
he's in the office.
Okay. And he trots on up to the office. Gives a good knock.
Who is it?
It's Teak.
Oh, come on in.
Opens and goes in. Closes the door behind him. Hey, Mullen.
What brings you by? You weren't planning on any more lessons, were you?
No, maybe later, but I heard what happened in the paper.
Ah. And then he looks, kind of paused. Haven't seen the paper today.
Oh, something about shootings between orcs and the dwarves.
He gets up, he walks out of the garage. Basically yells if anybody's got a paper. He walks back in a minute later with it. He's reading the article. He goes, this is the first I've heard of this. Of course, I ain't talked to nobody today.
You know who might have some information I could grab?
Hmm. Maybe, well, there's a made man I'm buddies with. I could give him a call.
Any information is better than none at this point.
So he goes over, gets the phone off the desk. You hear him call somebody up, and he basically, he doesn't bring you up specifically,
Mhm.
at least not to begin with. But he's talking to the person on the other side of the phone. Hey, basically, hey, I just read the paper. What's going on? They did what? Yeah, obviously we got to hit them back. Yeah. And anyway, talks to the guy. Eventually hangs up the phone. Apparently, the guild hit some of our boys.
The dwarves?
Uh,
They've never done that before.
Oh, there was some time back, 21? I think it was 21. Hey, but not recently, no. But
Any
but
particular
yeah, there was
reason why?
one of Boss Marduk's guards, basically, was found in an alleyway with his head caved in.
No.
Beat up more than just that, but we assume they assume he got knocked down and then clubbed in the back of the head. And then right after they found the body, they found some what would he call dwarves?
Stubbies.
Some of the ditch diggers.
God, that sounds like a slur. Jesus.
Is it worse than calling Teaks people sewer workers, though?
No,
Surrettes?
they're all bad. I love it. It's great. I hate it.
But anyway, yeah. So we
I
found
hate
some of
it,
the
and I
ditch
love it.
diggers poking around. They got aggressive, but there was more of us. So, but they got
maybe
they took a whooping, but they got away before before we could really get any before the people that found him could really get any answers out of him. Police came by at a bad time. So. But the article was talking about dwarves, so I'm assuming we must have hit them back. But fella I was talking to didn't know anything about that. As far as he knew, Boss Marduk was was planning some retaliation, but hadn't actually done it yet.
I wonder what happened. I mean, it's not often that they just start gunning orcs and themselves down. Right?
Who knows? Maybe they're tired of competition.
Do you know anywhere that I can maybe get more information? Maybe another orc in the mob or anything?
You can swing by Boss Marduk's place. Somebody around there probably knows something.
Is he still down at the same location that he usually is?
Oh yeah.
I know sometimes they like to move.
Nah, he's still got that one building.
Okay.
And you know,
I'll swing by there.
Boss Marduk, he's set up. It's a nicer area, and the
Mhm.
building in particular is like a nice set of apartments. It's not all orcs, though the boss has the top 2 floors is all just him.
Who in the chain of command? Who was it that Teak helped to get out of the mob?
I don't know. Come up with a
I
name.
assume it would have. Huh?
Just come up with a name.
Okay, I'll come up with a name later.
That guy does not live in those apartments.
Yep.
But he does work, you know. We'll say it's one of the accountants.
Okay. All right.
You know, one of the guys that helps cook the books and, you know, hide the income.
Gotcha. Teak will tip his hat and say, "Thanks, Mullen. I'll be back for driving lessons later."
All right. Keep your head down. You've been out a while, so I doubt anybody would think of messing with you. But
Yeah, I try to keep quiet, but if you need anything repaired, let me know. I know this is a garage, but
he just
might
does that whole.
Hey, sometimes you might have more than you can handle.
Get out of here.
He gives this like chuckle and then he walks out the door. Goes back to Salvador.
Who's sitting
Anything
shivering
going
in the car.
It's fine.
Tico explained everything he just talked to, so he said, "I got one more stop." So this time he just drives up to the place.
Yeah.
Was there anything going on while I was outside?
Oh, while he's watching the car.
Yeah.
Were you standing outside the car or just sitting in the car?
I was sitting in it.
Teak's I assume Teak's Model T would be known by most of the orcs, so they're probably like a few
That's
who
fair.
are like,
That's
who's this person chilling outside Teak's car?
Who's the knife
Right.
ears sitting in Teak's car? Give me a spot roll, Salvador.
Yeah, sure. It's case testing bacon, which is, I know, the worst job to have in the world.
You're doing
My
what now?
deepest sympathies.
It's a
May
failure.
you survive this tribulation.
Wait, what was that? I didn't quite catch it.
This case testing bacon earlier, so I was like kind of like looking away.
Are there any openings?
No, not in this house. Sorry.
No. Okay.
That was a
No.
failure.
Between you and all the pets that you posted that picture of earlier, there's probably plenty of. Between you and the doggo,
There's
there's
not a
probably
lot.
plenty of people willing to try bacon.
A lot of quality control going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. What did you get?
And failure.
Oh, okay. Nah, nobody. Nobody's paying you any attention. Teak, as you're walking back to the vehicle, Orc come walking down the street. Hey, little man. There's an elf sitting in your car. Do you know him?
Yeah, I know him.
Okay.
Thanks for keeping an eye out.
We just
He's like
noticed.
he's like holding a sap.
He's just like one's sitting on the corner, leaned up against, watching the car.
Just at the right angle that none of the mirrors are quite catching him.
Yeah,
He's a professional. But he's like, okay, if you know him. And then he gives a whistle, and that guy stops leaning and kind of trots to catch up with his buddy.
Thank you, guys.
I think as he walks in, as he gets to the car, he was like, "Who are those guys?"
Oh, just a couple friends.
Oh,
He-
okay.
okay. Boss Marduk.
Boss Marduk.
All right, let's cut over to. Let's see. Charlie was going about chores.
Sorry. Yes. I was putting dinner away.
Oh no, it's quite alright. It's quite alright.
Real quick, Jason, do orcs follow human naming conventions or something else before I try and think of a name?
Most of the strange folk use human names because they don't remember. The ones that first arrived didn't really remember their own.
Got it. Thank you.
But some of them, like Marduk, is not a commonly used name.
Yeah. And it's probably his last name, maybe.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't know where Patrick got Leo's last name from. So yeah, Charlie, you're going about your chores, and you hear some people talking about the gang violence and this and that. You hear them talking about the Beorn. Lots of talk about there's still a lot of talk about the brew that were killed. A lot of people are worrying about that. Most folks probably didn't really believe in them anymore. I mean, obviously the strange folk came from somewhere, so maybe they did exist, but it's been 1,000 years. They were really just boogeyman stories.
Mm-hmm.
And some folks are hopeful. Hey, Beorn are traditionally protectors, and we've got a brand new group of them. It'll be fine.
It will not be fine.
It'll be fine-ish. It's the sequel game set in the year 2000 that you got to worry about.
Oh no.
Hate that.
But so it starts leaving you with the impression that being part of this group may be a big deal. Like you knew it was you were familiar with stories of the tradition and whatnot, but you really only kind of thought of it as like a neighborhood watch almost.
Mm-hmm. Come to find out they do more than just watch in the neighborhood.
But there's somebody you can go to when the human police didn't want to help out, or maybe you had a human beat cop that was shoot first, ask questions if he felt like it. So maybe something needed to happen to him on a rainy night, that sort of thing. Whatever it took to protect people. But with the appearance of these monsters, a lot of people that probably wouldn't have paid attention to the fact that there was another group of these people, wouldn't have paid any close attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to be paying closer attention. This could be a major change in your life. You know, for good or bad. Up to you how your character will, take that.
Hope what?
I said, up to you how your character takes this, This is the impression you're
Yeah.
getting, but it's up to you how you feel about it. But you do get your chores done. So at least there's a little bit of normality today. All right. And, Michael and Vivian going to the police precinct.
Yeah.
Give me spot rolls.
Okay.
Once my character sheet's open, I'll do that.
Come on, you gotta be prepared.
I had it open. I had to refresh.
Mm.
Eh.
As the two of you are walking in,
Mm-hmm.
you notice a couple of beat cops. They're standing on the sidewalk,
Mhm.
Several parking places down, basically from the doors y'all are entering into. But Vivian, they're just sitting talking. But you notice the two of you walk in, one of them kind of, it's like he spots you and then kind of bumps his buddy and gestures.
Good gesture, bad gesture,
Just
and
sort
more
of a,
of
just sort of
hey,
like
these
a, hey
people.
man, look over there kind of thing.
Look at the
She'll
freaks
make
over there.
eye contact, making him very well aware that she is aware that he is aware. I see you seeing me.
Both of them
And
are
then her
frowning
sweetest
in your
smile.
direction. But yeah, then the two of you walk in. But you walk up, there's a desk sergeant. It's not the same desk sergeant you saw before, but there's a desk sergeant.
Yeah.
Yep, how may I help you? Okay. He doesn't look like there's any particular recognition or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should have Michael take the lead on this.
Afternoon, Sergeant. Might I speak with the captain, please, if he is free?
Let me check. He gets on the phone, asks for the captain. You can tell he's probably talking to the captain's secretary.
Mm-hmm.
Who's calling? Or who's? Can I have your name, sir?
Michael Anderson.
There's a pause and you say your name. Michael Anderson, sir.
Can I insight that pause?
Do what now?
Sort of get the vibe.
Yes, you may. Insight.
Can I get in on that?
Sure.
Okay.
Nah.
Should have asked
You
to roll
know
initiative
that
on
there
it.
is a pause.
Yeah.
Clearly he
That's
recognized. Clearly he recognized the name, and there's a pause, but you don't get
Mhm.
nothing else. But then you hear, yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. There he is. And he sort of glances a bit. Yeah, I would say so. Yes. All right, I'll let them know, sir. He's speaking with someone right now. If you'd have a seat over there, he'll call me to send you back, when he's available.
Understood.
15 minutes later or so, the desk sergeant's phone rings and he picks it up.
Mm-hmm.
Anything y'all want to do while y'all are sitting around for 15 minutes? Or
Listening to
You just
any
wanna hit skip.
conversation that may be going on around.
Yeah.
You see some other people come in with complaints, or there's an old lady complaining about, fairies fluttering around in the apartment above her all times of day and night.
Okay.
She's pretty sure they're getting in her little window flower box too.
Mm,
Gonna have to fumigate.
yeah.
The desk sergeant treats her like this is somebody that comes and complains about stuff quite often.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear the desk sergeant take a few other calls, but there's a few times when you know regular uniformed officers go or come in or go out. You know, it's a bustling, busy little precinct.
Yeah. I'll say Michael, for the most part, is just kind of watching people, like seeing how they move around. Basically, just kind of trying to get a read on the kind of mood of the precinct itself.
I'll give you an insight roll.
Okay. Can I first try? I'm going to spend a PowerPoint and try to activate aura detection.
Okay, you'll have to maybe look that up. So.
Yeah.
I know I've looked at it before to see what it does.
Yeah. Basically, mechanically, like it lets me kind of like see things about people with an intelligence roll or with an idea roll. But also for skill rolls, anything under the perception tree, it gives me a plus 20% bonus.
Oh, okay.
While it's active.
No, Vivian's just gonna check the vibes manually without any skills.
No, okay, failure. So don't get the PowerPoint. Don't get the power, but I will do the insight. Hey, there we go.
Didn't even need it.
Hey, it's better to just like pick at skills to get the
Yeah, for sure.
to get the upgrade.
Yeah.
Beer beat.
72. All right. That's where the power pulled up.
Yeah, I don't have a button that lets me just like post it, but I can do
I found the page.
that.
I made the mistake of searching for it in the magic book, which is not where it is.
Yeah, no, it's in the main book.
All right.
But I did succeed on my insight roll. So
Yes, yes. So you're seeing a wide variety. The lady chewing the desk sergeant's ear off is very agitated. Let's see. She's not especially healthy.
Okay.
But older lady. This is you've seen other older folks. You'd be willing to bet she's probably got some chronic health issues that she's living with.
Gotcha.
Nobody's possessed or anything super weird like that.
Oh well, the power never went off. I failed on that roll.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the. Oh, okay. That was the insight that I looked at that said success. My bad.
Yeah, I rolled a 93 for the power activating. So that failed.
Okay.
However, my base insight was a success.
I got you. In that case, you just see the. Some people are laughing. Some people are look like they're stressed out. You get a vague tension overall, though. And you're not sure what's causing it. You do notice a few people kind of giving you the stink eye. Just as they walk by, nobody's like necessarily sitting there just staring at you or anything. But Yeah, but eventually the desk sergeant's phone rings. The captain can see you now. Do you know where the office is?
I've been there before, yes. Thank you,
Okay.
Sergeant.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And he will head back to the office.
So you go back to the office, and there's a desk in front of the office. There's a lady sitting behind the secretary sitting behind the desk. And she looks at you, Mr. Anderson.
Ma'am,
You can go right in.
thank you kindly.
Does Vivian follow Michael in, or does she stand outside?
Does the lady give her any kind of look like you're here but you're not invited?
Not really, no.
Okay. Unless anything else is said, she'll go in as well.
Okay. Yeah, as you
See,
walk past,
Michael
you see
will-
the secretary turn back, and you hear typing start up again. Hello again, Mr. Anderson.
Captain.
Please, can I have a seat, ma'am?
Captain?
He takes a seat. Well,
Are you here in official capacity this time, or
yes and no.
oh, so it's your hobby again?
Unfortunately.
Have you found some more monsters somewhere?
Not as of yet, no. But if I may start this with inquiring, how's the detective? Is he doing well?
He's likely to still be out for a week. The hospital managed to get him through the infection, though. It wore him out. He's lost some weight. He's gonna be okay, though.
That's good to hear.
Officer Handleson, on the other hand, his career is pretty well over. I don't know if you knew they had to take the leg. That wound got infected.
I was unaware of that, actually.
I visited him a few times. He seems to have a strong spirit.
Well, I'll see if I can do something
He
for
was
him.
down when I was visiting him just afterwards, but some of the other officers said he's perked up, so hopefully he'll pull through. He's young. He can find him some other career.
I'll see if I can do something for him. That said, I heard tell that there was some gang violence between the dwarves and the orcs in the paper today.
Yeah, they had some officers break up a fight. Around the same time that some other officers they saw some suspicious activity, checked down the alleyway and found a bunch of dwarves clustered around some the body of some other dwarves. It seemed like the body had just been bodies had just recently been discovered.
Okay.
Some of those dwarves were armed, but none of them had a weapon that would have matched what was done to the firearm that killed one of the victims. The other two victims were mangled. Not that the shotgun blast to the one's head had left much of it, but
Understandable. I came here in hopes I might prevail upon you for some assistance.
That didn't go too well
See,
for the department last time.
I'm aware, Captain. The same person of interest is levying that this group that I have found myself a part of needs to head up protecting the city. And I
Well, yes, because the city
am,
certainly doesn't have any organizations designed to do that.
which is why I'm here, Captain. I don't want to cut the police department out of anything. I would like to prevail upon your all's assistance to help protect the city if this is something I am essentially being forced to do. Because if this is, from what folklore I've been able to acquire, or was granted to me, this is the same threat that drove the other races to Earth. This is our home, and we have just as much a part to play in defending it as they do. And so I was hoping.
Do they, as he glances at Vivian as he's saying this, do they think that's what this is about? That whatever ran them here is coming after them?
There's not enough information to really make any 100% certainty, but anything is possible. There's still those creatures out there unless your officers have caught up with them and taken care of them.
No. We had a bunch of people out in the woods around there in fields, but looking and found some strange hoof prints, but
They were, from what I understand, blessed by chaos and fertility, so it may do well to have. If your officers have any connection to speak to women that may walk around late at night, if you catch my understanding, sir.
ladies of the evening, yes.
Exactly. To be more careful.
All right, we'll definitely keep our ears out for any strange reports or strange assaults. I mean, the news is out that those creatures were there. I mean, we have the bodies. Some of the lab guys are very excited about it, or were very excited about it, until the Fed showed up and took the bodies.
Well,
federal government.
From what I saw of the circle that was there, given the placement of the runes, it was definitely a summoning of some kind. So probably what drew them here.
Yeah, it's too bad that circle in the slaughterhouse was so smudged and illegible.
May have been for good, rather than things coming through it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That being said, I was hoping if you had any resources available that would allow me to do any research into, trends or past history of these two groups coming to blows in the past, maybe markers or things that could have driven both of these groups to escalate in some way, or perhaps a third party that is hoping to profit from the escalation of violence between both groups.
Well, as far as a full history on the guild and the Orc Mob, the DA's office have access to that. I could let you, if you wanted to dig through individual officers' reports. I could, since you're in the DA's office, I could allow that.
I would appreciate that. Or if there's anything else you might be able to assist with, because from what I understand, I think our group is trying to mediate to calm things down. I understand one member is going to the mob. Much good that's going to do. And one is going to the dwarves. Might be able to officiate some third-party mediation there. But should things go south, we're only so few people. I understand that you took losses last time, and I am sympathetic to that.
Did Teak say he was going to the mob?
He did.
I thought you said he was just going to contact
people.
He
You
just
knew
said
some
he
people
was
you could
going-
talk to.
Yeah, that's all I said. I never said anything about the mob.
Everybody, I think, read between the lines, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. But, I mean...
Now you're just a liar, Michael.
You're
Well,
putting
he's
words in
assuming
Teak's
things,
mouth.
and we know what happens when you assume things.
Yeah.
Not that that would be news to anybody that's dealt with Michael. But all right, yeah, let's see.
But I am requesting that should things come to blows, if both groups need to be forcibly pacified,
Yes, if two mobs are fighting in the street, we will definitely be coming down on them. Obviously, any attempt that your friends make to calm things down will be something they're doing on their own. Well, I'd like nothing more than to bust both of these organizations wide open. We've been dealing with them for years.
Given the history I have with the orcs, I'd love nothing more.
I don't expect we'll get rid of them. We might have to make do with just getting them calmed down. I mean, if I knew they were just going to kill each other, I'd let them dingo dog and calico cat each other. But there's going to be civilians caught in the crossfire if it keeps getting violent.
Indeed.
Said that. Go ahead.
So I know there's the resources in the DA's office. Is there... Paper made mention of some contact in the department that told them the information.
Assuming they weren't just making that up. Yeah, whoever it is smart enough to keep their mouth shut. Because I specifically told nobody to talk to the press about this.
Is there anyone that you think might have chosen to do so? Either way, to maybe get some payout or some favor with the press? I'm trying to find a way to use my persuasion roll check here.
Actually, let's give a roll. Where's Eric? There's Eric. Give me a charisma roll.
Mhm.
I just want to see how he takes your the way you broach this. I mean, you were implying some of his guys might be taking payouts.
Normal roll.
Yeah, just normal side.
Okay.
Okay. You were pretty diplomatic about it then. Okay.
Mm.
Uh, but he's like, I better not find out anybody was taking money. I can almost
I
forgive if they
understand.
just believe in freedom of the press or something.
Well, I would certainly hope that no one is. But you know my job, Captain. The kind of people I've had to put away.
But I am familiar with the woman that wrote the article, Lucy Parker.
Okay.
She has certain feminine wiles that she might have very well simply been able to talk one of the younger guys into telling her something.
Mm.
You might talk to her.
Said Lucy what?
Parker.
Parker.
I doubt she'll give you the source, and that's probably not important to you anyway. But you might be able to get whatever information, any information she's got, she might be willing to share with you. Though she'd probably want something in return.
Mm. Well, I suppose I'll see how persuasive I can be.
But and like I said, you can have free run of our records.
Appreciate that.
As DA technically, technically you're allowed anyway.
Mhm.
I would not be overly comfortable with you sharing, making copies of the files or anything and sharing with your friends.
I can assure you that I will be making no copies of any files.
Not excellent.
But if I happen to remember every word that I read on it,
Yeah.
Just don't bring that up; it'll be fine. I appreciate that you came to me, that you want to keep the department in the loop. I appreciate this,
Mhm.
and I'd appreciate it if you continued to keep us in the loop.
I will certainly do my best to.
I'm not entirely comfortable with a group of civilians out doing this, but if you're not breaking the law, there's not really much I can do to stop you.
if I may, sir, it's trying to broker better relationships as well, make it possibly easier in the future.
One of the things that Genevieve did bring up is that the human police did not want to listen.
Oh yeah, that's
So-
a typical complaint that we hear from strange folk because we don't want to do magic.
Well, that is the other reason, is having ties to our own group, which is apparently some importance to them. It could, as Vivian has said, foster better relations between the human facets of the police department as well as the strange folk in the city.
Sometimes listening is its own magic. Sometimes people just want to know their voices are heard.
And sometimes having those folks that are more attuned to the more supernatural side of things as points of contact could go a long way.
Both of you give me insight rolls.
Okay.
Hey!
Roll.
And of course, remember to be checking anything you check.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I'd already checked it previously,
Yeah.
but yeah. Double
Um,
check.
as you start talking about that and his magic's coming up more, he kind of starts fiddling with something under his shirt.
Mhm.
Probably a cross of some kind, or crucifix.
Mhm.
Talk of magic is clearly making him somewhat uncomfortable.
If she noticed that, she'll segue to something like, of course, good old-fashioned detective working is always appreciated.
And we as humans have skills and talents that they don't.
Quite right, quite right.
May
But,
I inquire, sir? You said that two of the dwarves, their injuries and cause of death didn't look like anything caused by a weapon, that they had been mauled?
Although that does make me curious as to why one was taken out with, as you said, a shotgun, but the other two were mauled.
yeah, shotgun at very close range.
An animal?
We have got the city morgue is supposed to be sending somebody down to collect the bodies soon to do a better, workup on the bodies. Right now, we have a little morgue area in the basement, but it's really more of just storage space till we can send them off to the main morgue.
Thankfully, cold winters help with preservation.
Yeah, that does make it easier.
I understand that this might be a breach of protocol, but might I see the bodies? I might be able to glean something.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Yay!
Finally.
Yeah, I know, and now watch me fail. But yep. There we go.
Yeah, he does not need. It would kind of be against policy to take anybody down there. He will make sure that photographs from the lab. I mean, the DA would have access to that anyway. But he'll make sure some get sent to you, right away.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Along with whatever reports that have been filed on it. Now, if you'll excuse him, he has got a meeting he has got to get to.
Thank you for your time, Captain.
Indeed, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, and thank you.
If there's
hopefully
any way we can assist.
You can't think of anything right now, but perhaps if there's a need for some sort of community outreach later, that might be useful.
Of course.
Michael will reach into his coat, will pull out a business card and offer it to the captain.
The captain takes it, files it in his desk, or puts it in a little Rolodex kind of thing.
I know I do work with the DA's office, but that is the line to my personal firm if you have need of reaching me outside of the office.
He will keep that in mind.
Have a good day, Captain.
Oh, you too, Mr. Anderson. Did he ever get Vivian's last name?
I don't think she ever gave it.
Yeah, I don't
He
believe
just goes
she's
in
ever
you
given
too,
it.
and you, ma'am. On the plus side, he didn't completely ignore you this time.
Hey,
yeah,
she's okay with that. That's a character growth, baby.
Me, out of character. Persuasion is my highest skill, and I have failed every roll.
I feel that on a spiritual level.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd done quite enough of a speech to be able to use the complimentary rules for oratory, but
Oh, that went better than expected.
it did. I now have to segue to the DA's office. And at some point go by the realtors to rent out that office that Mikey
I'll
used to use.
I'll take care of looking into the information for Mickey's office. We'll be meeting up at the diner down there tomorrow, anyways. So
I'd appreciate that.
no problem. Have fun looking at files.
But
I
I'm
don't
good.
think they'll let me look.
I don't believe they will, no.
All right, Teak, Salvador.
Huh.
I assume Salvador will be more welcome here than other places.
Yeah,
you said it was-
there's a mix of folks that live in this
Yeah.
in this building.
This is a boss's room, a boss's house,
Yep.
right?
Boss Marduk.
Yep.
Okay, so everyone else is already open carrying, so Salvador's just gonna sling his rifle over his back.
That gets. Now this building,
Hmm?
it's a nice apartment building.
Okay.
Boss Marduk or someone associated with him owns it, and he reserves the top 2 floors for him. It's like a 7-story building.
Okay.
So there are just people who just live here.
There's just there are civvies. Okay.
There are civvies here.
Okay. That's what I was looking at. If this
They
is
are,
like-
you know, it's an open secret that Marduk is based out of here. So nobody living here doesn't know who the neighbors are upstairs.
Okay.
But
And he'll just go with his usual piece.
it kind of makes the building almost one of the nicer ones because, like,
Who's
nobody's.
gonna mess with the mob affiliated building?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, if an actual mob war breaks out, okay, then you may have to worry. But just
That'll
run of the
never
mill
happen.
crime doesn't hardly happen here.
Yeah, he'll have his regular piece like strapped on the inside, but doesn't never makes a motion towards it unless
Okay.
Provoked.
Are you carrying the rifle on your back?
No.
Okay.
If there are civilians there, then yeah, he's not gonna do that.
Okay. But you got like a
He'll
side
have it.
up on
Yeah,
your coat or something. Okay.
Teak has both his too. So
Yeah.
Better to have what I don't need than need what I don't have.
That is fair.
and I assume Teak has been here, so he's going to go
Yeah.
to the
And you've got some of
guard?
Marduk's people in the lobby that just seem like they're just lounging around, but you know they're the guards.
Yep.
Because like I
He's
said,
gonna-
it's a regular apartment building as well, so people are
Yeah,
coming
he's
and going.
gonna walk up to one of the guards and just ask if the boss is in.
Like I said, you recognize that these were the guards. You don't know this one specific. You didn't know these 2 specifically.
Yeah,
Who should I say is calling?
Teak, sir.
And you need to speak with the boss himself.
Just I have a couple questions if you don't mind. If he has time.
He looks at you a little doubtfully, and while his buddy is giving Salvador kind of the stink eye. Not the first time you've been mean bugged by thugs,
It won't be the last.
He gets up, he walks over. To a little desk. The lady behind the desk, as he's walking out, already pulls the phone out and sits it up top for him. Yeah. Yeah, we got a little lizard down here. Says he needs to talk to the boss, and his name is Teak. Mm-hmm.
Are they on a 2-way?
You what now?
Are they on like a 2-way?
Well, he just walked over to the desk and used the phone.
Oh,
I'd like
okay.
to roll a listen to see if I can hear anything on the other side.
Well, he walked across
He's
the
not
room
going-
to the desk.
Okay.
So unless you
Just-
followed him over
I didn't
there.
know. I didn't know how far.
Okay.
I assume he said wait here, so that Teeks would do that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll send him up. He hangs up the phone. He looks a little surprised.
What's this lizard do?
Some kobold
What
walks
did-
in off the street. I thought I knew
Lizard
who
is
the
a
important
stone
people.
cold
I thought I know
killer.
who the important people were.
Okay. So
you know where the express elevator is? And
I do.
Teakwood. All right.
Oh, before I go, how's Miss Lillian McCarthy? Is she doing better?
She's still working.
Is she doing better?
Let's see. How long ago would this have been?
Probably a few years. Couple years, 2 to 3 years, maybe.
This guy may be new because he looks a little confused. She's fine. She's been fine.
Okay. Well, tell her Teek says hi. And goes to the express elevator.
I'll go with Teak.
Yep.
So you go back, and there's a couple of elevators in the building. The one at the back of the building, goes basically straight up.
Mhm.
You've got the little bellhop kind of guy in there. You can picture an orc in a little uniform, little hat.
It's just slightly too small.
No, these are actual mobsters. They're very particular about the clothes.
It fits very, very, very fitting.
It's cut to help conceal the gun he's carrying.
I'm assuming Teep still has his in his apartment, but he's not going to pull that out.
So you get in. Clearly, he was expecting you. You get in. Ride to the top.
Does he know this gentleman?
Even or odd?
Even. Let's go even this time.
You do not know him.
Okay.
To be fair, this is not exactly a high-end position, so
Yeah.
a lot of folks that have
Start
been
here and work your
just
way
long
up.
enough to earn some trust will be, stuck here.
Yeah.
Because they're the second line of defense. So.
Yeah.
So up to the top, ding's open. There's two big guards sitting there.
I assume they're going to ask him to, take off his weapons and hand it.
And they go, weapons?
And he's already has them off and handed it to him.
Yep. I'll follow Teak's lead and also pull out my weapon.
Okay. We're going to need to pat your friend down. None of us
Okay.
know him. And these guys you've seen before.
Yep.
These guys have been Marduke's, kind of personal guard for a while.
He's gonna look at him, one of them, and be like, "How's your daughter?"
Doing pretty well. She's almost done with school.
Okay. Glad to hear it.
It's gonna. I'm like turning as I get the pat down. I'm looking down at Teak and like, the fuck?
Teek just waves at him. Just starts having a casual conversation with the other guard.
Oh, yeah, daughter's about to graduate. He's expecting this boyfriend of hers to come ask his permission to marry her anytime now.
Is that the one that you didn't like, or is this the other one?
No, this is the one he doesn't like.
Oh,
So he's really debating how to respond. Should I just tell him no? Should I chuck him out the window? The wife thinks the wife thinks he's fine.
I mean, you could always do the standard have a shotgun in your lap when he's talking to you.
Goddamn Teak.
He likes that ideal. He was going to have a blade on the wall, but I think
And you
the
thought
kids these
Deke
days might
was
respond
gentle.
more
I love
more
it.
to a gun. And while he's talking, the other one is giving you just a it's quick, it's very professional.
Yeah. Just
all right, he's clean.
clean. He doesn't have anything else.
And the guy you were talking to, Teak, leads the two of you back to the office. Quick knock on the door. You hear Boss Marduk. Send him in.
He nods to him. Thank you. What's this guy's name?
Let's see. What's a good mobster name? Sid.
Skinny Pete.
Sid.
They call him Little Sid. You don't know why, because he's not very small.
He never figured that out. Yep.
And then I have artwork for Boss Marduk.
Yay.
We've uncovered an important NPC.
Dun dun dun. Yes, he's one of the mob bosses. All the mob bosses are going to be important.
Nice.
So he is sitting in behind his desk. He is in his pinstripe suit. Teak, you have to you actually both of you give me spot rolls.
Sure.
Yep.
Failure.
Oh, yep. Failure.
Okay. So Salvador doesn't notice, and truthfully, Teak would probably know this already.
Petting a small cat, and I can't see the cat. This is bullshit.
I also I assume there's a special greeting or something like that if you're talking to the boss, you should do as a
kind
I
of
assume
kiss the Godfather's ring sort of thing.
kind of thing, yeah.
Think these people stand on ceremony like that.
So
I asked.
when you walk in and greet him, you have to just you have to stare him dead in the eye.
Mhm.
Orcs favor the bold.
He stares him in the eye.
Which is good because it means you don't accidentally stare at his little stumped pinky. It's not like he's missing part of it. It's like there's a joint missing in the finger.
Ah,
Just a mild.
birth defect.
No.
Yeah, though you probably don't want to call it that around him.
Sure.
But he can be a little sensitive if people stare at him.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm following Teek's lead. So if Teek stares him in the eyes, I'm gonna look at him and then be like, "Oh, well," stare him in his eye.
But as they were walking in, he would probably tell
Okay.
Salvador that, so he's not caught off guard.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you know this?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Teak, it's good to see you again.
Hi, boss. How are you?
Business has been good. Today's been a little upsetting. I hear you've come up in the world.
Oh, same old mechanic.
Defender of the city, hero.
I don't know about that now. I'm just trying to be helpful where I can.
That's what makes him the best hero.
You've literally killed a monster out of legend.
Well,
3.
2. Well, 3, yeah. But I couldn't have done it without you teaching me how to shoot, so.
Well, having you taught you.
Mm.
This must be Salvador, then.
That's me.
He gives you an up and down.
Just kind of looking him in his eyes the whole time as he does. Watching him scan.
Anytime he tries to make eye contact with you, you try to make eye contact. You make sure you're making eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually he tells you you can relax. The official greetings are over.
Oh.
You just as soon as he's told to relax, you just see Teak hop up onto a chair and just sit.
Salvador will sit. He's like, where I come from, they just give me tea and ask me about my family that I don't care to talk about. So,
Well, I have no interest in your family.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I can offer you a little better than tea. He snaps his finger and one of the guards comes over with a decanter of something and he pours it up.
Ooh, weird drink from Mob Boss. I'm in.
No, it's perfectly clear.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's the strong stuff.
Doing vodka
Teak
shots
knows
with the
exactly
Mob
what
Boss.
this is.
Doing Everclear with
As
the
you
Mob
don't-
Boss.
You don't turn it down.
But you can just sip politely if you know how strong it is.
Mm-hmm.
Has Salvador ever had vodka before?
Oh man, I don't know if he's had it before, but he knows he knows it when he gets the whiff of it. He's like, "Oh, that is not water."
Because orcs mostly initially appeared in kind of Eastern Europe and further over.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Yeah.
incorporated vodka
Oh yeah,
kind
so
of culturally.
Salvador knows what vodka is because he's kind of gone a little globe hopping due to being in the service, but he doesn't know. He hasn't like had a whole lot of it. He just he's seen some soldiers in the service get real fucked up with it.
And maybe, maybe you ran into some Russian soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll drink. He's not gonna chug the whole thing, but he'll take a drink.
Teak is sipping it, and when I mean sip, it's like a drop on his tongue every time.
Teak specifically got a glass that basically scaled to him.
He's doing a little
But-
mlem.
Yeah, he's
You know, maybe double what a shot glass would be.
Mhm.
So what brings you boys by? I'm guessing it has to do with the business this morning.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what happened. From what I understand, it was a shootout or something, scuffle, for sure.
Well, one of our guys was killed. And the boys that found that body found some dwarves snooping around. That's the scuffle. Apparently, some dwarves turned up dead as well. So far, I haven't found any of my people that say they did it.
Do you think it could be a misunderstanding?
I mean, playing both sides.
We've had dusts up with the ditch diggers before. And obviously we're competitors in business. But this seems oddly sudden. There hasn't been any particular tensions lately. Not between either of us or either of us and the Italians. And you know, and you would know the Italian mob is mostly in the northern part of the city that's more dominantly human.
Yeah.
You know, no area of town is completely one or the other, but
I mean, outside of what I understand, a shootout happened several years ago. There hasn't been much of any kind of gunplay that often, right?
Correct. That brings the wrong sort of attention. You know, we'll occasionally sabotage one another.
I wonder if someone's trying to rile you both up to maybe.
It's a thought that's crossed my mind. But if it was the Italians trying it, they stick out like a sore thumb down here.
I mean, the Italians don't come down here that often, so.
I think they'd prefer to stay way away.
So I'm right that that's what your little group is investigating next.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what happened. Maybe see if we can help. But We're running on fumes at the moment, but the rest of my group is trying to figure out other leads from. That's why they're not all here.
Might also be weird if 6, 7 people just showed up at the
Yeah,
at a
it's.
at a respected boss's house.
I was okay with one or two, but having all of you would kind of set a wrong image for. And he nods down towards the lobby where the new guys are.
That might have provoked a stronger response. Though I'd have
figured-
recognized who you were. So as to your question, though, I have considered that this could be somebody trying to start something.
Don't mind me getting into your business, boss, but have you tried sending a nice message to the dwarf boss? Parlay, perhaps?
That might be seen, if I instigate that might be seen as a bit of weakness.
That's true.
I think,
But
And I
he's
know
find
Sigurd would take it that
proof
way. I know
first.
Sigurd would speak of it that way at the very least.
And I mean, he's probably seeing it the same way too. So
Of course, if some third
or
party
she.
wanted to try to make peace, some neutral party.
Yeah, if only there was one of those laying around.
Exactly.
Well,
Now I've got
I
my
can always
boys
bring
poking
it up.
around, and obviously, if we find out that this is what it seems to be, and the brewers are just wanting to kick something up, well, we'll have to respond in kind. This sort of thing can't be allowed to stand.
Much as I hate it,
But if your
I'm
little
all for
group is for
defending-
hire, I'd be happy to pay you to investigate this and find out what actually went on.
I can bring it up with the group and find out if they're okay with that.
Excellent.
More than happy to accept money for doing what I was going to do anyway.
He hopes the rest of your group sees it the same way.
Immediately, I knew Teak knows that Michael's not going to be okay with it.
And Boss Marduk is really hoping he is, because that'd be nice.
Teak is
But
already
if they're-
picturing the disapproving look.
Yeah, but if they're not, I mean, I'm not sure. Do you know where all this happened? Maybe we could glean something from the site.
He takes out a little notepad, jots down a couple of addresses, hands it to you.
He
The
takes
top
it.
the top one's where our man was found. The bottom one is where the dwarves were found.
Did you
and-
have any patrols of that area with, or anything like that?
Not really. It was close to one of our storehouses.
Okay.
I don't know if the dwarves are close to one of theirs. You'll have to inquire of them.
Do
But-
that.
I know in both cases the
Seven.
police managed to get the bodies.
Yeah, I think Mullen said something about like the cops saw him and they scattered or something like that. I think.
Yes. The boys were roughing him up to get some answers out of him. If
Teak's-
they'd been
Teak's like-
been thinking, they'd have simply brought them to me. But their blood was high. Haven't found that body.
Are they new blood?
Fairly new. young enough that I'll probably excuse it this
Mm.
time.
So Teak looks over to Salvador. You got any questions, Salvador?
Seems pretty cut and dry. If there could be some like, I'm not gonna say leniency because obviously that's going to be seen as weakness. But if you just happen to not be where we happen to be investigating for just a brief amount of time that we're there, and you just go back about your business. Just so we can.
I don't have anybody watching those alleyways now.
Excellent.
I'll have some guards in the storehouse, of course.
Well, yeah, you got to protect the
until the
insides.
police presence calms down a little bit, and we can move it somewhere else.
Of course.
Do you have any idea of anyone who may have been in that area or anything? May have seen something or got tied up in it or
None of my
fled?
people. I've already questioned my people. None of them had noticed anything odd.
Is any
If you're investigating it, there are other people. You know, there are people that live in the area or work in the area. You could always ask around.
Is anybody in your organization more holistically attuned?
If you ask them if we got any shamans, we're a little short on those at the moment.
Worth a shot.
There's one or two in town that don't really want to be associated with our businesses.
Of course. Well, worth a shot. But that's all I have. I had a buddy in the war that was towing the line a little bit.
He doesn't mention Leo. So while he seemed to know you, while he's shown that he may know the group, he may not realize what your and Leo's connection was.
Mm-hmm.
He's not all knowing. He just knows a lot.
Yeah, he just holds onto it and hoards it like a dragon.
So has Salvador finished his drink?
Yeah, he finished it.
All right. And Boss Marduk has finished his.
Teak is
still
maybe got that much left in it.
In that case, he tops everybody. He pours another one for him and Salvador and tops Teak's off. And then he holds up a glass. Holds up his glass like he's going to do a toast.
Yep. And Teak holds it up.
To your predecessor, Mickey was a pain in my ass, but he was a man of principle.
Gotta respect the man of principle.
Tink, tink.
And Teak shots it.
Oh shit!
Constitution saving throw.
So this is 2, and he's kind of little. Give me a con. Well, let's see. What do they call the con roll?
It's a stamina roll.
Stamina.
Give me a stamina roll.
Normal.
Yes, normal.
Success! Nice. Jesus.
I won.
Marduk smiles. You've been working on your tolerance there.
And his voice slightly higher. I tried. Sits it down.
I'm going to drink it and slowly get it to completion.
Yeah, and Marduk lets you finish. He's drinking his, so y'all finish the drinks. He stands up, shakes your hand. He hopes you'll be able to work together in the future.
Do I know if he's married or not?
Marduk is married.
Okay. He as he shakes his hand, it's like, your wife doing okay?
Oh, she's doing quite well. Looking forward to the new grandbaby.
Oh, congratulations.
And he rattles off whichever kid it is. Marduk's got like 5 kids, so.
It's not surprising, but you still say congratulations. Thanks again for meeting, boss.
Oh, well. You may be a new big player in the city.
Much as I don't think so, but we'll see.
He's very humble.
For being in the mob, yes.
If there's something else, then we'll take our leave.
All right. And the guard walks
Have
you
a good
back
day,
to
boss.
the elevator.
I retrieve my armament.
Oh yeah, they give you your guns
Teak.
back, at the elevator.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am not that drunk.
Teak takes his guns back and he says, "Good luck with the son-in-law."
Yeah, well,
Oh, the other.
I like your shotgun idea. Maybe I just scare
Glad I
you.
could help.
Maybe I just tell my little girl, oh, he was coming right at me.
I think as we
Teak
get into the
waves.
elevator, I think it was as we get into the express elevator, Salvador's like, "What the? What?"
Don't
Let's
forget,
wait till we get to the car, please.
there's a guy running the elevator in there. So
Yeah.
No,
he's
you-
not gonna. He's not gonna. He's not gonna be like apoplectic. He's just like, so you have stories in the car, huh?
In the
Okay.
car.
Okay.
all right, so y'all get back out to the Model T without any trouble.
Yep.
I just assume that there's some people, like some of the new guards or something, like sitting outside, and Teek's like starting up the Model Teak.
Yeah, but anybody
I'm
around here
waiting
knows you is used to that.
Look, I'm just waiting for the day that there's a roll involved and you fail and that thing like backfires and starts spinning you.
Whenever I need to make a vehicle roll, you'll find out how low that is.
Like a hamster that trips in a hamster wheel.
Oh my lord. That's scary in itself.
Yep. All right. We're just after 9:30, so I guess we'll wrap here. We'll pick up next week with y'all at the diner. We'll just start at the diner.
Okay.
And on the way, Teak will explain.
Like, here's my backstory.
His tragic backstory.
Not so tragic, but okay.
So I hope y'all had fun.
Yep.
I enjoyed running tonight. Hope anybody that comes by checks us out later. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us next week. Again, I was your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me tonight has been Sarah as Vivian. Rappy as Charlie.
Vigorous waves.
Jeremy as Salvador. Duba as George Stone.
More vigorous waving.
Eric as Mr. Anderson. And Carr as Teak, the new big player in town. And we will see y'all next time.
Bye-bye.
So tread with care and heed the sign. Abomination, Ali's line. For in the night the shadows grow and take with them your troubled